Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Botany Optional channel. Now in this particular video, we will observe the different types of the growth habits which are possessed by the plants. Okay. Because most of the time in the exams, whether they are our UPSC exams or the graduation exams, this question is there that what are the different types of growth habits which are shown by the plant. Okay. So in this particular video lecture, we will understand the 5 different types of the growth habit which are there in the plants. Now the first habit is the creeping habit. Okay, as you can see into this particular grass picture here, you can observe how the stem is growing. Okay, stem is growing horizontally. If you observe carefully, see, this is the stem and how it is growing. It is growing horizontally to the ground. Okay, and by growing horizontally, it is increasing in its size. So whenever stem is growing horizontally, we say the habit is a creeping habit. Okay, so here this particular grass is showing the creeping habit. Actually, all the types of the habits or the 5 different types of the habits which are shown by the plants are typically dependent on the nature of the stem. Here you will observe the stem is delicate and it is growing horizontally to the ground, and hence we are saying this is the first type of growth habit which is called as the creeping habit. Okay. Now after creeping habit, observe this climbing habit. Here also you have to observe the stem. The very delicate stem is there which tries to climb upward. So this is called as the climbing habit. Okay, it's a climbing habit in which there is a delicate stem, and this stem tries to go upward by climbing, by attaching to itself to some object. Okay, so this type of habit is called as the climbing habit. Now let us observe here the third type of the habit. The first habit we have seen is the creeping habit. The second one is the climbing habit. And in both one, we have seen how the different stems are there. Now in the third habit, we called it as a herb. Okay, this is the herb habit. If you see carefully, because this is a small herb. Okay, it will not grow much in the size. And observe the stem. The delicate green stem is there, and hence this is considered as a herb habit. If you observe carefully, or if you compare it carefully, you will understand that the creeping habit, the stem were growing horizontally. In the climbing habit, the stems were climbing, right? But in the herb, first time we are seeing there is a straight stem which is growing towards the sun, that is above the ground vertically. If you observe carefully, the stem is growing above the ground and it is growing vertically, but it will not grow much, and the small plants are there, and hence such a kind of a habit is called as the herb habit. Okay. Okay, now you are saying the fourth type of the habit which is called as the shrub habit. Now here also you should carefully observe the stem. Now stem at the base is divided into the so many different stems. Okay, and that is why such a kind of a habit is called as the shrub habit. You should understand the shrubs are always more in height than the herbs. So this particular shrub plant, you can understand, it is having a good height when it compared with that of the herb. So again here the same criteria is applied, that is the stem. Here you will observe there is a good strong stem. Okay, and it is growing vertically above, but it will grow even more than the herb, and that is why we classify them as a shrub, because they were having the multiple stems at the base and they can grow up to the 5 feet in height, because the strong stems are there but multiple stems are arising from the base, and that is why we are classifying this type of growth habit as a shrub. Okay, now consider this is the fifth type of growth habit which is found in the plant, and this fifth type is called as the tree. Okay, so herb, shrub and trees, this type of classification were also given by the Aristotle. And here observe the stem, the very rock solid stem is there, and this stem is growing and growing into form a very large huge tree. Okay, so in case if the stem is very strong, it is showing the presence of secondary growth. If the secondary growth is present in the stem, then we consider that particular plant as a tree. Okay, because secondary growth is typically absent in the earlier 4 growth habits, that is whether it's a creeping, whether it's a climber, whether it's a herb or whether it's a shrub. They cannot show the secondary growth. If the secondary growth is present in the stem, it will always be the tree. Okay, if you let out the exceptions. All right, so observe this is a tree habit, and why we are calling it as a tree habit, because of the secondary growth which is present in the stem. Okay.